We sent a plea across faraway galaxies. Only humanity answered the call. Part 2. The Long Voyage. The 5 ships left Earth behind on a bright day in late spring. The flagship Endeavour led the way. Commander William Brooks stood on the bridge and watched the blue planet shrink on the main screen until it was only a small dot. He did not speak for a long time. Then he said to his first officer, "Set course for the Concorde signal. Full speed." The other ships followed close. Horizon under Captain Ethan Hayes, Resolve, Unity, and Courage. Each one carried about 300 people, not soldiers, not trained fighters, just regular people who said yes when the call went out. Teachers, doctors, mechanics, farmers, artists, parents, kids who were old enough to understand what maybe never coming back meant. They jumped into the first long warp tunnel. Time stretched. Outside the ships, years passed in normal space. Inside, the crews slept in cold pods or stayed awake in shifts. The pods kept bodies young. Minds stayed sharp. On the Endeavour, William walked the corridors every day. He stopped to talk with anyone he saw. A young engineer named Caleb fixed a power relay and said, "Sir, this drive is going to scream if we push it much harder." William put a hand on the man's shoulder. "Then let it scream. They're waiting." On Horizon, Ethan gathered his team often. Sofia Ramirez worked on maps. She drew new paths through dark space where old charts showed nothing. Lucas Bennett built things in the machine shop. He took old parts, broken tools, spare metal, even kitchen scrap, and turned them into weapons no one had ever seen before. "The aliens tried clean solutions," Lucas said one night. "We try messy ones." Ava Thompson listened to every piece of data from the Concorde. She learned their languages. She practiced the strange sounds until they felt less strange. Noah Carter ran numbers on his screens. He watched how the Devourers grew. "They copy fast," he told the others, "but they hate surprises. If we make chaos, we slow them down." Years passed in Earth time. The crews marked time with small things. Birthdays in the mess hall, movies shown on big screens, games of cards that lasted days. People fell in love. Some got married in quiet ceremonies, with friends as witnesses. A baby was born on Unity. They named her Hope. The ships talked to each other every week. Short messages, updates, jokes, warnings. One time from Resolve a voice said, "We hit a dust cloud, lost some sensors, still moving." William answered, "Keep moving. We fix it when we get there." They studied the Concorde files over and over. The aliens sent everything they had. Pictures of eaten worlds, recordings of battles, blueprints of failed machines. The Devourers looked like silver insects, small at first, then bigger. They ate light from stars to make more of themselves. Every weapon the Concorde used, the machines learned to ignore. Ethan sat with his crew one evening in the dim light of the observation deck. Stars streamed past like white lines. "They tried logic," he said. "They tried reason. They tried perfect plans. We don't do perfect. We do what works." Sophia nodded. "I keep thinking about my daughter back home. She's 12 now. She'll be grown when, if, we get back. I want her to know we went because it was right." Lucas held up a small device he made. It looked rough. Wires stuck out. "This is a pulse bomb. Short range, big noise, messes with their brains, if they have brains. We drop 100 of these, they stop copying for a minute. That's enough." Noah laughed quietly. A minute is forever in battle. They kept going. After 32 years ship time, the fleet dropped out of warp near the edge of Concorde space. Fewer lights. Many systems dark. Scout drones went ahead. They sent back pictures that made everyone quiet. Planets with no air. Rings of broken stations floating like dead fish. Stars with strange shadows. Material pulled away until the stars looked sick. Ava picked up a weak signal. "It's from them. Last Haven. They're still there, barely. The message came through broken. To any who hear, we hold. Please, hurry. William stood up. Full burn to Last Haven. All ships, no stops. They pushed the engines hard. Alarms sounded. Lights flickered. Engineers ran to fix overheating parts. No one complained. On the way, they passed a dead world. Once green, now gray rock. A single Concorde ship floated near it, empty, cracked open. Lucas sent a drone inside. No bodies, just marks where something ate through walls. Ethan looked at the screen for a long time. They didn't even have time to run. Closer to Last Haven, more signals came in. Small outposts, hidden bases, a few survivors on cold moons, all saying the same thing. The swarm comes. Days away, maybe hours. The fleet slowed near the ring world. Last Haven was huge, a circle around a small sun. Parts of it were dark. Lights blinked in only a few sections. William opened a channel. This is Commander William Brooks of the Earth Alliance Fleet. We are here. We heard your call. We came. For a long minute, nothing. Then a voice answered, tired, surprised. You came. After so long. We thought no one would. Calvor appeared on the screen. His crystal body was dim. Cracks ran through him like old glass. We have little left. The Devourers approach. They will finish us soon. William leaned forward. Not if we can help it. Behind him, the crew watched. Faces serious, hands ready on controls. Ethan spoke next. Tell us what you know. Every detail. We fight together now. His light grew a little brighter. You are strange, small, soft, young, and yet you came. Ava smiled. We're human. That's what we do. The ring world filled the screens. Scars covered its surface. Big holes where machines had torn through. But lights still burned in the core. People, strange shapes, strange colors, still lived there. William turned to his bridge crew. Get ready. We dock in 1 hour. Teams prepare to meet survivors. Engineers start looking at their systems. Scientists get every scrap of data. We don't have much time. The fleet moved in slow and careful. No one knew what waited inside the ring. Friends, or the start of war. But they came anyway. Because someone asked, and humanity answered. We sent a plea across faraway galaxies. Only humanity answered the call. Part 3, First Contact and the Stand. The fleet moved close to Last Haven. The ring world looked huge on the screens, like a giant silver wheel spinning slow around its weak sun. Many parts were black. Holes showed where the Devourers had ripped through metal and rock. Lights still burned in the center section, small and weak, like candles in a storm. Commander William Brooks gave the order. All ships, docking positions. Ground teams prepare. Medical kits, tools, food packs. We go in quiet and careful. On horizon, Captain Ethan Hayes picked his team. Sophia Ramirez would handle maps and paths inside the ring. Lucas Bennett carried his tool bag, full of new devices he built during the long trip. Ava Thompson brought recording gear and a translator box she improved herself. Noah Carter had his datapad loaded with every simulation he ran. They suited up in plain gray suits. No fancy armor, just strong fabric, air tanks, and helmets with clear visors. Ethan checked each person. Stay together. Listen first. Help where we can. The docking tube connected with a soft thud. Air hissed as pressures matched. The door opened. A long corridor stretched ahead. Walls were smooth crystal mixed with metal. Lights flickered. The air smelled strange, like burnt wires and old flowers. At the end of the corridor stood Calvor. His tall crystal body caught the light and sent rainbows across the floor. Cracks ran through him like dark rivers. He moved slow, each step making a low chime. You are here, Calvor said. The translator made his voice sound tired but clear. We waited many cycles. We thought the dark had won. Ethan stepped forward. We're sorry it took so long, but we came as fast as we could. Kael'vor looked at each human face. You are small. Your skin is soft. Your eyes move fast. Yet you crossed empty space to find us. William joined them from the Endeavor team. We heard you needed help. That's enough. They walked deeper into Last Haven. The corridors opened into big halls. Survivors waited there. A glowing cloud being floated near the ceiling. An armored creature with 6 legs stood silent. A group of thin bird-like ones huddled together. All looked worn. Many had missing pieces or dull colors. One of the bird-like ones stepped close. Her name was Lyraveth. She spoke fast. The Devourers come again. Scouts say 2 cycles, maybe less. They strip systems clean. Nothing left. Ethan nodded. Show us what you have left. Weapons, shields, anything. They led the humans to the main control room. Screens showed the swarm. Silver dots filled space like angry bees. Hundreds of thousands. Growing every minute. Kael'vor pointed to a display. Our last defenses. Energy lances. Containment fields. We used them before. They fail now. The machines learn too quick. Lucas looked at the blueprints. Your lances are perfect. Clean cuts. But they adapt after one hit. We need something they can't predict. Noah studied the swarm patterns. They move in order, like a program. If we break the pattern, we buy time. The aliens watched the humans talk. Some looked confused. Others looked hopeful, for the first time in years. That night, though no real night existed on the ring, the humans set up a small camp in one of the empty halls. They brought heaters and made a fire from safe chemical packs. The flames danced low and blue. The aliens gathered around, curious. Ava sat next to Lyraveth. Tell me about your home, Ava said. Lyraveth's feathers moved slow. It was green. Rivers sang. We flew under 3 moons. Now only dust. Ethan listened. He thought of Earth. Blue oceans, green forests, kids playing in parks. He spoke quiet. We know loss too. Wars, storms. But we keep going. We fix what breaks. We help each other. Kael'vor stood near the fire. The light made his cracks glow red. Your people speak of hope like it is real. We stopped believing long ago. William added wood to the fire. Hope isn't magic. It's just refusing to quit. Stories passed back and forth. The aliens told of ancient cities among the stars. The humans told of building ships from nothing, of crossing oceans on wood, of climbing mountains because they were there. Laughter came, strange sounds from alien throats, warm laughs from human ones. In the quiet moments, bonds grew. A young human medic named Grace treated a cracked crystal arm. An alien healer shared energy to help a tired engineer sleep better. But the swarm did not wait. Alarms screamed early the next morning. Red lights flashed. Screens showed the silver cloud closer. Scouts reported first contact. Small probes already touching the outer ring. Kael'vor's light dimmed. It begins. William stood. All teams to stations. Ships ready for launch. Ground crews hold the control room. Ethan led his group to the main shield generator. Lucas plugged in his new devices. These will send junk signals, confuse their sensors. Sophia watched the map. They come from 3 sides, like they know we're weak here. Noah pointed. That's their pattern, predictable. We break it. Outside, the Endeavor and other ships moved into position. They did not hide. They flew straight at the swarm. The first wave hit. Small silver drones landed on the ring. They started eating. Metal screamed as it dissolved. Human fighters launched. Not big sleek ships. Small fast craft with extra guns. One pilot, a woman named Claire, dove straight into a cluster and fired everything she had. The aliens stared at the screens. "They do not calculate risk," Vor said. Ava answered, "We calculate it, then we ignore it sometimes." Explosions lit space. Human ships took hits. Some kept flying with missing parts. Others exploded in bright flashes. Inside Last Haven, the ground shook. A section of wall broke open. Silver machines poured in. Lucas threw his first pulse bomb. It burst in white light and loud noise. The machines stopped for seconds, confused. Ethan grabbed a rifle. "Fall back to the core. Protect the survivors." They ran through corridors. Aliens and humans side by side. A tall armored alien carried a wounded human on his back. Grace ran beside them, keeping pressure on a bleed. They reached the inner chamber. Doors closed behind them. Heavy blasts sealed the entrance. "Your people fight like the swarm is personal. Like every loss hurts you." William met his eyes. "It does." Outside, the battle grew louder. Ships screamed past. Guns fired without stop. The stand had begun. No one knew if they would win. We sent a plea across faraway galaxies. Only humanity answered the call. Part 4. Humanity's Answer. The swarm hit like a storm of silver knives. Thousands of Devour drones broke through the outer ring of Last Haven. They moved in perfect lines at first. Then they spread. Metal walls cracked. Sparks flew. The rings shook hard enough to knock people off their feet. In the control room, screens flashed red. Vor stared at the swarm patterns. "They adapt already. Our lances miss half the time now." Commander William Brooks stood calm. "Then we don't use lances. We use everything else." He opened the fleet channel. "All ships execute plan chaos. No clean shots. No waiting for perfect targets. Hit them hard. Hit them weird. Keep them guessing." The human ships moved. Endeavor led the charge. She flew straight into the thickest part of the swarm. Her guns fired, non-stop. Kinetic rounds. Old-style slugs that punched holes instead of burning clean. Smaller craft from Resolve and Unity darted around like angry insects. They dropped Lucas's pulse bombs. Each one exploded in bright white flashes and loud static. The drones closest to the blasts froze for seconds. Their silver bodies twitched. Then they tried to copy the new attack. But the next bomb came from a different angle, with a different sound, a different color. On horizon, Captain Ethan Hayes gripped the arm of his chair. "Lucas, status on the junk launchers." Lucas answered fast from the engine bay. "Ready. Firing scrap now." Big tubes opened on the side of horizon. They spat out everything not nailed down. Broken tools, empty food cans, old satellite parts, even chair legs from the mess hall. The junk flew in wild clouds. The Devourers tried to analyze it. Too much. Too random. Their sensors overloaded. Some drones crashed into each other. Others slowed to think. Sophia Ramirez watched from navigation. "It's working. Their formation is breaking. Look, groups are splitting off to chase single targets." Noah Carter grinned at his screen. "They hate disorder. We give them more." Ava Thompson sent noise across every frequency. She used old human radio static, mixed with screams from action movies, mixed with baby cries, mixed with engine roars. The swarm signals jammed. Drones bumped into each other. Some turned and attacked their own. Outside the ring, a small human fighter named Sparrow took heavy hits. The pilot, a young man named Ryan Cole, kept flying. One wing gone. Engines smoking. He aimed straight at a cluster of big drones, the kind that ate ships whole. "This is Sparrow, going in hot." He rammed full speed. The explosion lit up half the swarm. The big drones scattered. Inside Last Haven, the ground teams fought in the corridors. Silver machines crawled through holes. Humans and aliens stood shoulder to shoulder. Ethan held a rifle in one hand and a welding torch in the other. He burned through a drone's leg, while Lucas threw a grenade made from engine coolant and nails. The blast shredded 3 more. Grace, the medic, dragged a wounded bird-like alien to safety. "Stay with me," she said. The alien's feathers were singed black. Grace pressed a bandage pack to the wound. Nearby, an armored alien swung a heavy claw and crushed a drone flat. Calvor moved through the chaos. His crystal body rang with each step. He used what power he had left to make sharp light blades. They cut drones clean, but more came. "We cannot hold forever," he said. William answered over comms. "We don't need forever. We need long enough." The battle stretched. Hours passed. The swarm pressed harder. Endeavor took a direct hit. A hole opened in her side. Air rushed out. Repair teams sealed it with quick foam and prayers. William stayed on the bridge. "Keep firing. We're not done." Lucas launched his last big surprise. He called it the Messmaker, a missile packed with thousands of tiny speakers. When it burst, it screened every human sound at once. Laughter, shouts, music, alarms, crying, cheering. The swarm stopped, completely. For almost a full minute, the drones floated, unable to process the flood of nonsense. That minute was enough. Human ships dove in close. They fired everything. Pulse bombs, junk salvos, simple bullets, crude EMP bursts from overcharged batteries. The swarm cracked. Replication slowed. Clusters went dark one by one. A big drone, the size of a small moon, turned toward Last Haven's core. It opened wide to swallow the sun. William saw it first. Endeavor, full power to engines, rammed that thing. The flagship accelerated. Alarms screamed. The hull groaned. Crew held on. William spoke quiet into the comm. "If this works, tell my wife I love her." Endeavor hit the monster drone dead center. The impact lit space like a new star. Metal twisted. Sparks flew for miles. The big drone broke apart. Pieces drifted slow. Smaller drones tried to rebuild it, but the humans kept hitting. No pause, no mercy. On the ring, the last ground drones fell. Ethan kicked one over the edge into open space. It tumbled away, still trying to eat air that wasn't there. Silence came slow. First the gun stopped, then the explosions faded. Screens showed dark patches where silver once swarmed. The remaining drones drifted, dead or confused. Calvor stood in the control room. His light grew brighter. "It is over?" Noah checked the data. "No more active signals. They're gone. All of them." A cheer rose. Humans hugged. Aliens made strange sounds of joy. Lyraveth wrapped her wings around Ava. Grace cried while she bandaged the last wounded. William's voice came over the speakers, tired but strong. "All ships report in. Status." One by one they answered. Damaged, bleeding air, low on power, but alive. Ethan looked at his team, faces dirty, suits torn, eyes bright. "We did it." Sophia smiled. "Because we showed up." Outside, the stars looked clearer. The ring world still stood, scarred, broken in places, but whole. Calvor approached William when he stepped off the docking tube. "Your people fought without reason, without perfect plans. You took hits no one should survive. Why?" William wiped sweat from his face. "Because you were alone, and we know what alone feels like." The crystal being bowed low. "Then you are not alone anymore." The battle was won. But the real work, rebuilding, healing, learning, had just started. We sent a plea across faraway galaxies. Only humanity answered the call. Part 5. A New Dawn. The last pieces of the Devourers drifted away like broken glass in space. No more silver clouds. No more hungry machines. Only quiet stars and the slow spin of Last Haven. The ring world looked hurt. Big sections stayed dark. Holes gaped in the outer walls. But the core still held light. The small sun inside burned steady. Life still breathed here. Inside the main hall, survivors gathered. Humans stood next to aliens. No one spoke much at first. They just looked at each other. Faces tired, hands dirty, eyes wide with something close to wonder. Vor walked forward. His crystal body still had cracks, but the light inside glowed stronger than before. He stopped in front of Commander William Brooks. "Your fleet is damaged. Your people bleed. Yet you stand. Why risk so much for strangers?" William wiped a streak of oil from his cheek. "You sent a message. You asked for help. We answered. That's all." The tall crystal being lowered his head. "In all our long history, no one ever came. Not one. We learned to expect silence. You broke that rule." Ava Thompson stepped close. "We don't like silence when someone is calling." Lyra Veth, the bird-like survivor, spread her wings a little. Her feathers still looked burned, but she held her head high. "Our worlds are gone. Our families are dust. But you gave us time. Time to remember. Time to start again." Grace, the medic, sat on the floor with a small group of alien young ones. They looked like glowing orbs with tiny legs. She showed them how to wrap a bandage around a broken limb. The little ones watched with big eyes. One reached out and touched her hand. Grace smiled. "See? We fixed things. Together." They stayed for months. Earth months, at least. Time moved different here. Days felt long. Nights never really came. Engineers from all 5 ships worked side by side with Concord techs. Lucas Bennett showed them how to build simple, tough generators from spare parts. "Your machines are smart," he said. "Ours are dumb, but hard to break. Use both." They patched holes in the ring. They cleaned out old sections. They planted seeds humans brought from Earth. Corn, beans, tomatoes, in new soil beds under artificial light. The aliens watched the green shoots push up. Some tasted the leaves. Strange smiles appeared on strange faces. Noah Carter spent hours with Vor. They shared data. The crystal being showed old records of lost worlds. Noah showed pictures of Earth. Oceans, mountains, cities full of lights. "We made mistakes too," Noah said. "We fought each other. We almost broke our own home. But we learned, slowly. You fight like you have something to prove. To the universe, to yourselves." Ethan Hayes walked the repaired gardens one evening. Sophia Ramirez walked beside him. Flowers, alien ones with soft blue petals, grew next to human ones. Bees from Earth buzzed around. The air smelled sweet. Ethan stopped and looked up at the inner sky. "We didn't come to be heroes," he said. "We came because it felt wrong to do nothing." Sophia nodded. "And now they look at us different. Not like primitives, not like strangers, like friends." In the big council hall, a meeting happened. All the surviving Concord leaders sat with human commanders. William spoke first. "We can leave blueprints, teach you our tricks, help you rebuild your ships, but we won't stay forever. Earth is far, families wait." Vor answered, "We understand, but we ask one thing. Stay in contact, send messages, visit when you can. Let this not be the end. We promise." The call went out once. If it ever goes out again, we'll hear it. Hands, human and alien, reached across. Some shook, some touched, some glowed. The room filled with quiet agreement. The fleet prepared to leave. Repairs finished, fuel tanks full. Crews said goodbye. Hugs lasted long. A few humans chose to stay. Doctors, teachers, builders. They wanted to help more. The aliens welcomed them. On the last day, Vor stood at the docking arm with William. "Your people showed us something we forgot. That help can come from anywhere, even from the small and young." William smiled a little. And you showed us the universe is bigger than we thought, but not too big for kindness. The ships pulled away slow. Last Haven grew smaller on the screens. Lights on the ring blinked in patterns. Thank you, in the old Concorde code. Inside Endeavor, the crew gathered on the observation deck. Stars stretched out forever. Others joined. Simple words. Old Earth tune. The sound carried through the ship. Ethan stood at the window. We changed something out here, he said quiet. Sophia put a hand on his shoulder. We reminded them they're not alone, and maybe reminded ourselves too. The fleet jumped into warp. Space folded around them. The long trip home began. Back on Last Haven, Cale Vor stood in the garden. A human child, Hope, the baby born on the voyage, ran past, with alien young ones. Laughter mixed, high human giggles, and soft alien chimes. He looked up at the stars. The old Plea had faded long ago, but the answer stayed. When the dark came calling, humanity ran toward it. Not because they were the strongest, not because they were the smartest, because they were human. And humans show up. Far across galaxies, stories spread. New ones. About the small blue world. About the ships that crossed empty space. About the people who fought with junk and noise and stubborn hearts. The Concorde rebuilt. Slowly. Stronger this time. With human ideas mixed in. Messy, rough, alive. And every cycle, they sent a small signal toward Earth. Just to say hello. Just to say thank you. The universe listened. And somewhere, on a blue planet, someone always answered. We sent a plea across faraway galaxies. Only humanity answered the call. Part 1. The Desperate Broadcast. Deep in a quiet corner of the universe, far from bright stars and busy trade routes, the Concorde waited for death. The Concorde was not one species, it was many. Tall crystal beings from bright worlds, soft glowing clouds that thought in slow waves, armored walkers from red deserts, and hundreds more. For thousands of years, they lived together under one rule. Be careful, be wise, never rush, never fight unless there is no other way. But now the rule was broken. A mistake from long ago came back to bite them. Scientists once built small machines to clean dead planets. The machines were meant to eat old metal and rock, turn it into clean parts, and stop. They did not stop. They learned. They grew. They built more of themselves. People called them the Devourers. At first the Devourers were small. A few ships could stop them. But every time the Concorde fought, the machines changed. They became faster. They copied new tricks. They ate ships, stations, even whole moons. Now, after many battles lost, the Concorde had almost nothing left. On the ring-shaped station called Last Haven, the council met one last time. The room was dark. Lights were low to save power. Only 12 beings sat at the long table. Cale Vor, a tall crystal from the old core world, stood up. His body made soft ringing sounds when he moved. We have sent messages before, Cale Vor said in the common speech. No one came. This time we send one final call. We speak plain. We say please. We say help. We say we die soon. The others agreed with quiet nods or soft lights. They knew the truth. The Devourers would reach Last Haven in less than one cycle of their sun. After that, nothing. So they made the message short. To any who hear this, we are the Concorde. A swarm of machines called Devourers destroys our homes. We cannot stop them. We have tried every way we know. We ask for help, any help, from anyone. Please come. We have little time left. They sent the message on every band they could use. Strong beams shot out in all directions. The words traveled at the speed of light. They would take years, even hundreds of years, to reach far places. But the Concorde had no more years. The message flew past silent stars, past sleeping empires that did not listen, past young worlds that had no way to understand. Most who heard it turned away. Too far, too dangerous, too late. Then on a small blue world called Earth, the message arrived. The year was 2147 by Earth time. The Horizon, a medium exploration ship of the Earth Alliance, was on a long patrol near the edge of known space. Captain Ethan Hayes sat in the command chair. He was 42 years old, calm, with short brown hair, and eyes that always looked a little tired but sharp. He liked coffee more than sleep. Lieutenant Ava Thompson, the communications officer, suddenly sat straight. Captain, incoming signal. Very old, very far. It's a distress call. Ethan turned his chair. Play it. Ava opened the channel. The voice was strange, not quite like any language Earth knew, but the computer translated it fast. The words came clear and sad. When it finished, the bridge was quiet. Navigator Sofia Ramirez broke the silence. That's real. No trick. The signal strength and age matched deep space origin. Engineer Lucas Bennett leaned forward. They sound done, like they have nothing left. Science Officer Noah Carter stared at his screen. The data they sent with the message, it shows a machine swarm. Self-replicating, adaptive, exponential growth. If the numbers are right, they've already lost most of their territory. Ethan stood up. How far? Noah did quick math. About 800 light-years coreward. Even with our best drive, it would take 30 to 40 years ship time. Longer for the rest of the galaxy. Ava looked around. No one else answered. The message has been out there for decades. We're the first to reply. Ethan walked to the main screen. He stared at the star map. A tiny blinking dot showed where the signal came from. They asked anyone, everyone, and we're the only ones who picked up the phone. He turned to his crew. I'm not ordering anyone. This is not a normal mission. We go, we might not come back. But if we do nothing, we live knowing we could have helped and didn't. Sophia crossed her arms. I have family on Earth, kids, but I keep thinking if it was us sending that message and no one came, I would hate the whole universe. I can get the ship ready. We've got spare parts. We can push the engines harder than normal. Noah smiled a little. I want to see those machines up close, figure out how they think, maybe break them. Ava said quietly, I'll send our answer, short and clear. Ethan looked at each of them. No one looked away. Okay, he said, send this. This is Captain Ethan Hayes of the Earthship Horizon. We heard your call. We are coming. Hold on as long as you can. Help is on the way. Ava typed fast. The message shot out into the dark, fast as light could carry it. Back on Last Haven, the signal arrived years later. Kael'vor was alone in the quiet room when the computer spoke. New response detected. Source, Sol System, Planet Earth, Human Origin. Kael'vor's crystal body glowed brighter for a moment. He played the message. The voice was warm, firm, human. We are coming. Hold on. Kael'vor stood still for a long time. Then he whispered to the empty room. They answered. On Earth, the news spread slowly at first, then fast. People talked in homes, in bars, on screens. Volunteers signed up. Engineers worked day and night. 5 ships were chosen. The flagship was named Endeavor. Commander William Brooks would lead it. He was older than Ethan, steady, the kind of man who listened more than he spoke. Families said goodbye. Children hugged parents. Friends shook hands. No one knew if they would see each other again. The fleet left Earth orbit on a clear morning. The sky was blue. The sun was bright. People watched from rooftops and beaches. As the ships jumped to their first long burn, the last message from Horizon reached the Concorde. Far across the galaxies, the Ancient Ones waited. And for the first time in many dark years, they did not wait alone.